So this is the last day of the regular season out here. You're used to seeing this league indoors, and we are instead outdoors. So nice little change of pace. We got Bullies versus La Honda, and leading off is going to be Christian. Again, this is a league we've talked about in the past where they have 8 teams, primarily B-level teams, borderline A, and so it's a good little league, but does get a little redundant at times. So this is Chicago's 16-inch style softball. Only tonight we don't have the crazy rules, and Christian bangs one off the pitcher, George. He recovers in time for the out, and that's how the game is going to start. So we are underway, and that's how the game begins. So we'll go over a couple of the rules real quick. Again, we are outdoors, so we don't got to worry about a roof and any of those, and this is a big wide open field. So here's the shortstop, JB, now. And takes that pitch a little deep as we're underway. And he slashes one out to right. The right fielder danced with it a step or two, but he made the catch. So as you can see, it's a big, wide open field. They basically, you see a lot of foul territory. Not as much down the right field line. 60-foot bases. Can lead off, but you can't steal. 38 feet from home plate point to the pitching rubber. 60-foot bases. Pitcher gets 2 fakes or hesitations. Third arm action has to come home. And we do swing heavier bats than the 12-inch guys. And there's a missile to the third baseman. Long throw across in time. So 1, 2, 3 at the end of a half an inning. No score. La Honda coming to bat. So 6-12 on the arc. Pitcher gets 2 fakes or hesitations. A fake or a hesitation to a base is considered one of your fakes or hesitations. And I don't have the La Honda lineup. I'm going to try to get Francisco's attention. Francisco, kind of like the old Ray Rayner, he can't find the Post-it note. There you go, the legend himself, Francisco Arenas. Thank you, sir. So we're underway here. This isn't a league, TP. This is a league that started in the intentional sports facility. That's where Steve Rodriguez of Los Borrachos started this league for primarily B-level type teams, and they're just finishing it outdoor. They've had a lot of, I wouldn't call them issues, but the dome is very busy, so their schedule kept getting kind of moved around, and so they decided, why not go outside? So here we are. And leadoff man KC takes that pitch for a ball, 2-0. Thanks, Francisco. So, interesting idea. And he slashes one the other way, but right at the right fielder, Johnny on the spot. So it's a crisp, cool day here in the city of Chicago. This is actually Cicero, Illinois, a western suburb of the city of Chicago. It does share a border with the city. And so, but very pretty sky here, showing up bright blue on the camera. And that's going to bring up Josh Cias. And you might have heard in the background Coach saying, tell him to watch the flip, and Josh does like to go the other way, but he turns on this. Third baseman, nice easy pickup there by the third baseman, throws it across. So far both teams outdoors look a little tight. It's a little different than that climate controlled indoors. Sorry, the Camera's bouncing around here, folks, as I got this lineup card late and had to clip it on there. And that's going to bring up Lou Rossi. Yes and no, Joe. It's kind of a situation where when the wind's not blowing, it's not bad. But here on field 1, it's a little breezy. This park's always been a little strange in the sense that at field 1, and Lou slashes our first hit of the game up the middle in the sense that on field 1, the diamond that we're on, because it's more exposed and the wind on a day like today is coming directly at my back, and so it's always about 10 degrees cooler on field 1 than it is on field 2. So it's just kind of an odd thing that goes on out here at Clyde Park. Well, TP, the rule book is a good question. Manny Sanchez, who's umping, is in the process of printing our rule book up. I wouldn't necessarily call them new rules, TP. They're more like points of emphasis. So at the first tournament your team plays in, we'll be distributing free copies of the rule book to, and there's a little swing and a flare, and that'll be caught. So John pops out to end the inning, and we're going to head to the top of the second. No score here.
I got some in the car. I'm going to go grab them. What are you doing in this car? You know you're playing softball.
So they're all, every team is going to get a free copy of the rule book. They'll also get a free printout of the points of emphasis, and we're also going to give them the same ground rule meeting card that our umpires use when they discuss the ground rules before a game. And the points of emphasis are actually online. If you look under Facebook and you go to our page and you click on photos, it's a yellow document that says points of emphasis, and you can read through that. And there's some things we'll be highlighting this year that will be, you know, the same stuff that you've heard in the past, but we've told our umpires this year that we want them to really bear down on it. So here's Spada. No score as we head to the second. And Spada swings, hits a ball foul down the left field line, so he'll come on back.
Your ball, let's go! Right.
And so we're going to reset here. I got a coach here. So Spada walks to lead off the top of the second. Having a little trouble here with my scoreboard. For some reason, I don't quite see the inning. And there's a swing and a flip shot, base hit. So Corey and Loco pinch running's going to score. And he's going to try to stretch it, and he'll make it stand-up triple. So Corey flipped the ball out toward right center, had a little trouble getting it in, and as a result of that, Bullies take an early 1-0 lead here.
Good job, Dario!
So nobody out, runner on third. Here's Dario. Yeah, I wouldn't call it necessary. There's a little ground ball. Lou Rossi, a little fumble, throw to first, not in time. Meanwhile, second run scores, 2-0 Bullies.
Hey, hold on!
So, Bullies, after a 1-2-3 first, come here and the first three guys reach, and they take a 2-0 lead. Still nobody out here. Brings up Izzy. And we did see Bullies had a very good run in that first session out in intentional. So caught there by the center fielder, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Brings up Church. So yeah, TP, this game was part of that intentional sports that, you know, Steve Rodriguez doesn't like to call it an indoor league because they always anticipated maybe having to finish outdoors. So it's kind of an indoor-outdoor thing. So there's a fake, but George doesn't throw to first. So a lot of good stuff happening as the outdoor season is starting to creep up on us a little bit. And there's a swing and a pop-up, and the center fielder's there. That's out number 2. So that's going to bring up AJ. And still having a little trouble with this scoreboard. And that pitch is taken. So the inning, the score is correct, but the inning may not be. And there's a little ground ball up the middle, little bobble, throws to first, and they get the third out. So at the end of an inning and a half, 2-0 Bullies. Again, the live stream is powered by Gold Rush Gaming. If you're looking to put slots in your establishment, go with the gold standard. Go with Gold Rush Gaming. Good people to do business with. And you can give them a call. They'll walk you through all your options at 630-307-0500. You can also email them at inquiries@goldrushgaming.com. Make sure you mention you heard about them right here on the SSA broadcast. Yeah, this scoreboard, usually when I tap on it, it usually gives me that ability to change the score, but I don't know where that setting went. It's got the teams, it's got the scores, but it doesn't, it's not showing me an inning thing. So a little agitated. So here we go. Leading off, it's going to be Thor. He'll be followed by George. And then Jose. So this is the last night of the regular season out here. But we'll be back. We don't know when the playoffs. And there's a little spinner, and that gets up the middle for a base hit. As he hits it past the manager of the Bullies, Edwin. And that's the first base runner here for La Honda. So we have Matt Dozen's Guaranteed Rate Kickoff Classic next weekend out in Tinley, weather permitting. Matty's had some tough luck the last couple of years with rain. And George hits a sinker and it drops. Tell you, the left fielder Izzy couldn't quite get there, but he did a great job. Didn't go down to his knees, but he looked like a catcher in the way he approached it. Leaned forward with his upper body, got the short hop, hit him in the chest, and fell right at his feet. So that was very well done there by Izzy. So first 2 hitters on here is La Honda trying to crawl back into the game, and it brings up Jose. We're battling some shadows, so I hope you're still getting a good view here.
You're good.
So we got Matt Dozen's event coming up.
Hey, Edwin, watch that flip, man.
And then
Back door, I got you.
the week following that is the Cinco de Mayo.
Good.
So the kickoff is out at Tinley, and Cinco de Mayo is out in Melrose Park. And of course, if you didn't see the press release, it's pinned to the top of our page. We did announce the SSA, and there's a ground ball. He goes to third for one, and that's all they'll get. I think the pitcher there thought Jose was a little too quick to get a double play, so he took the lead runner. And that's going to bring up Johnny now, still first and second. Sometimes making a safe play is the right thing to do. Make it a little tougher here to try to, on Laanda, trying to maybe score a run. So then we announced the SSA Chicago Summer Series. We think it's going to really pump up a lot of interest in the game. We took 4 of the premier events. We'll be keeping score, leaders, team standings for those 4 tournaments. And at the end of the year, we'll have all Summer Series teams, MVP, batting champ, home run champ, all defensive team. So it's going to be pretty interesting as the season goes on. Of course, the last 2 years out here, we've had a lot of different tournaments, but last year was a good example. Nobody won more than one, so those team standings could be interesting. And there's a drive, and that's going to be, Izzy got there, got 2 hands on it, but then he couldn't hold on. So it'll be second and third, first run for Laanda. Ball was hit pretty good the opposite way. Looked like Izzy was going to make that catch. And again, that's part of the problem. When you're used to being indoors, you got a little bit more sweat on your fingers. Now you get outdoor and you're battling a breeze, and the breeze is blowing out toward right center. And as a result of that, the ball just kind of carried a little bit. So here's Jimmy, and he delivers. Another run scores, and now Izzy bobbles it, so the 3rd run scores. And we got a new leader now, as Laanda, after falling in a hole, has put up a 3 spot, and they still got a runner on first with only 1 out in this ball game.
Hey, 1 out, Tommy. 1.
So Jimmy creased a hard single, drove in 2 runs, and that'll bring up Tommy.
1 out, Tommy.
So Laanda, and there's a ball hit right at Izzy, and that ball almost took off over his head. Again, we got that cross breeze blowing out toward right center, right field. And as an outfielder, you got to be careful. So any ball that a hitter hits underneath and gets a little of that underspin, and if he gets it up in the air, that ball's going to carry here. So here comes Brandon, and then he'll be back to the top. And there's a ground ball to third, throw across in time, and that'll do it. But in the inning, 3 runs for Bullies. We head to the top of the 3rd, 3-2.
That's nothing. Let's go.
So that Chicago Summer Series is going to be fun. We're negotiating. We're going to have a little banquet, I think, at the end of the year with food and open bar, we hope. Should be a great party. And we'll honor all of the award winners from that Chicago Summer Series. And we'll also honor the teams that participated in and won other SSA events. So it should be a great night. It'll be a cheap ticket. And it should be one big party at the end of the year. So leading off here, there's a swinging a long fly ball caught by the center fielder. So leadoff man down for Bullies, as Jesse gave it a ride, but the center fielder got there, and it brings up Edwin. So we're in the top of the 3rd, snappy ball game so far. and it's a little chilly out. And Edwin comes through with a base hit. You know, we always talk about in ball games how you need the bottom part of your lineup to chip in. And that's a good example there where Edwin, hitting 11th, comes through with a hit. And now you got the top of your lineup with one out and a runner on, a chance to maybe push something across here. So here's Christian, his second at-bat of the ball game. He was a part of that 1-2-3 first.
See a three. See a three.
And there's a little flip the other way. Sliding catch by the right fielder. He throws behind, not in time. But a nice job there by the right fielder, as it looked like it might have been trouble off the bat, but he came flying in and slid underneath it.
Hey, let me see one.
And made a secure catch. So it brings up JB now. 2 outs, runner at first. Edwin will be flying on the swing here. Aside from the temperature, picturesque day. And there's a bullet. First baseman can't make the catch. Nobody there. Now they try to throw across. Not in time. So runners on the corner with 2 outs. And here comes Loco hitting in that 3 spot. So base hit here can tie the ball game. Any type of a stretch single or a double will put Bullies back in front, as they're looking for a big 2-out hit here. And Loco trying to flip the other way, and the ball had a little spin, but it's handled by the first baseman. So they threaten, do not score. Score remains 3-2 as we head into the bottom of the third. So they leave a pair on there. And we're going to head now to the bottom of the third inning. So Laonda coming up. Casey, Josh, and Lou. An opportunity here now to extend the lead a little bit. So we got the Chicago Summer Series coming. For those of you who are curious, Patty Caputo doing very well. Just recovering nicely, so a little shout out to Pat. That pitched a little deep. Also want to give a shout out to a couple of SSA board members and people who are heavily involved with us. Anthony Tyler, congratulations. Anthony inducted into the Hall of Fame. Got the pleasure of managing Anthony for 4 years when I was running Flashback. And there's a high pop-up coming in as the center fielder, KC, and he puts it away for out number 1. So well-deserved for Anthony Tyler. Also, I believe Matty Dozen is going to be honored with the Richard J. Daley Award, Friend of Softball, if I read that right. So congratulations, Matty. And of course our guy, Uncle Joe, Joe Polito, who's pretty much at every softball event. Here's Josh Cias now, 1 out here. And he grounds it to second. Nice job there by Christian. Man, he took his time and then threw a sidearm fastball to Spada. Spada caught it right off his hip. He's kind of laughing a little bit. He's like, dude, I'm 5 feet away from you. So congratulations to the 3 of them. So 2 up, 2 down, and here's Lou Rossi. Bottom of the third, 3-2 here. And it's interesting because the first couple of times you play outside and you're not on that turf, you kind of got to get yourself used to kind of catching the ball outside a little bit. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Let's go!
Trying to tighten it up, folks. Sorry, I don't have a lot of moisture on my hands, so it was making it a little difficult there. So anyways, you got to get used to the fact that you're not getting the AstroTurf hop, and outside the ball, you know, it hits rocks or pebbles or little indentations, and you get crazy bounces. And tonight and early in the season, this field is relatively hard, so it's a little different kind of a bounce. Plus, if you're in the outfield, you got to kind of relearn how to pick your feet up, because you can't really slide a little bit on that grass. So even though these guys have been playing most of the winter here at Spada, there's usually that short period of time where it doesn't factor. And line drive, see us. Of course, Josh normally very sure-handed. And again, it is chilly, and as that sun goes down, it's going to get a little colder. My guy, Travis, do me a favor. Reach out to me over the weekend when you get some time. I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about. So first hitter is on. Brings up Corey. Big hit in that 2-run second inning for the Bullies. His second at-bat of the game. And there's a swing and a ball that's hit hard. And little contact over there. And Loco's going to get to third. That was a crazy play there. Josh had the fielder's choice. He kind of made a low, wide throw. Lou got into a weird position. Looked like Loco was anticipating a wide throw, so he was going to make the turn, and there was a little contact here. Incidental. We are grown men playing a sport after all. We do get a little contact once in a while. And there's a swing and a bullet base hit. So Dario hammers it. We're all tied at 3. And there were a couple of things going on that play, because it looked like both of the fielders, you could see the way the shadows are. That was kind of a weird humpback. He had a lot of topspin. And you can see the first baseman over there shading his eyes. It looked like they lost it for a second, and then you had a base runner to boot. And there's a ground ball off the pitcher, and the bases are going to be loaded. So this inning not starting out well. Bases loaded, nobody out, and 1 on. So Izzy pounds it off George's leg, brings up Church. Right now the Bullies are set up to put up a crazy crooked number.
You deserve that one, man.
And there's a high fly ball. Right fielder's there. Backpedal. 1 run is in. And so there's an example what happened there. The right fielder was backtracking. Instead of taking his time and setting himself and throwing to second, he tried to throw off his back foot, and the throw was a little high, overshot the cutoff man. That allowed both runners to advance. And there's a swing, sinking line drive caught. Another run's going to score. And it's now 5-3. So AJ hit a sinking line drive. Nice play by the right fielder to get there. But it did score another run. So the Bullies have put 3 up. And brings up the third baseman, Jesse. And there's a slash to Cias, high throw in time. So Jesse grounds out to end the inning. But we're going to head to the bottom of the fourth. 5-3 Bullies. We have a new leader. So it's always good to get outdoors. It's always better when it's 70. And we had such beautiful weather the last few weeks. And of course, Murphy's Law. Today we have something to live stream. Turned out cold. So we'll probably be throwing up a podcast next week, launching the Chicago Summer Series today podcast, and we'll run through upcoming events. We'll talk a little bit more about the Chicago Summer Series. We'll have George Bliss and Jerry Brown on, and maybe a couple of surprises.
I got you short.
So it's John, Thor, and George coming up here. Bottom of the fourth, Londa, little work to do. As we're kind of have a little bit of a seesaw game going on here. And there's a swing the other way. Right fielder basically had to just take about a half a step, but he was right on the spot there. It brings up Thor with George on deck. So we'll be doing that next week. Should be a very interesting summer, to say the least. A lot of the big teams all got better. And it's going to be fun to see how that shakes out. Circus is certainly loaded up. Flashback was a little more surgical. 45's picked up a couple of guys. Signature picked up several people off of the old Impact, and there's a little blue base hit for Thor. And again, if you're Izzy, you've had a couple of balls hit out to left field that have taken off on you. So he was playing maybe a little deeper than he might have had this wind not been pushing the ball away from him on a few occasions. So here comes George. He represents the tying run in the box, one on, one out here in the bottom of the fourth. So we'd also like to, well, we'll get to it at the end of this half inning. George takes that pitch a little inside. George singled to left his last time up. And he walks. So when you're nursing a 2-run lead halfway through the game, you don't want to put the potential tying run on base. And that's going to bring up Jose. Chance to do a little damage. He takes that ball a little deep, so home plate jumping around here a little bit.
I got your back, though, good. All right, Jose, don't come to you, Jose.
Takes that pitch, so he's falling behind another hitter here. And there's a strike.
Hey, Core.
So full count. They are playing 1-1 out here. And they do got several other time slots going on here. They got a 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, and 9:30 game. And he walks his second hitter in a row to load it up.
go, make it hurt. Here we go, we're good. Here we go, we got you. We got your back. Let's go, we got your back.
So it's going to bring up Johnny now. Bases loaded, one out. This is almost a mirror of what happened last inning when the Bullies pushed 3 across. And they had the bases loaded. And there's a high fly ball. Right fielder on his horse made the catch. 1 run is in. They're going to try to send the second runner, throw to the plate. They got him in a pickle now. And they called him out. So an unconventional double play ends the inning. As a result, only 1 run scored on the fly ball, makes it a 5-4 ball game. And I tell you, the catcher almost held on to that ball a little bit too long, as the runner was actually close to getting back. So they pushed 1 across, and it was a tremendous throw, and that's what I'm talking about. The right fielder went a long way back to get the ball. He got there, and he threw a strike to second base. Good communication there by the Bullies as they let the short center know to go home. You might have heard him yell 4, and he turned, wheeled, and threw a strike. It's those little things, kids, that make a difference in a ball game. And here's leading off now. It's going to be Edwin. So we're in the top of the 5. Got ourselves a good one here. And there's a hard ground ball over to Josh Cias. Long throw in time for the first out here in the top of the 5th. So we'd like to welcome a new sponsor, Sweet Buzz. So they have infused edible products for those of you who can use those in an appropriate manner. So keep an eye on that. If you go to your dispensary, of course, Nick Drabel with Moneyline, it's him and his family involved with that. They're one of our pillar sponsors for the Chicago Summer Series. So we're back to the top of the lineup in Christian. And we'll see here as the sun goes down. Hopefully the lights are going to come on at some point. And that's a nice job by George. Looked like Christian had a ball heading out to center. George got the 2 big mitts up and volleyballed it to himself. And Christian kind of rolled the head back running down the line. He couldn't believe it. Brings up JB. So they do got 4 time slots out here. Of course, I'm getting over a little bit of a sinus infection. Josh Cias from his knees in time. So we've actually seen some pretty good defense despite the elements. And being first time outside.
Hey, now let's go. Hey, infield, talk.
So Bullies can't do anything there. So we head to the bottom of the 5th. So if you're checking us out from out of state and it's the first time you've seen 16-inch softball, head over to our Facebook page. You can see that snazzy Chicago Summer Series logo and follow our page. we live stream from a lot of the big events, fundraisers, leagues. And we think the more you watch 16-inch softball, the more you're going to like it and want to play it. Again, we have over 32,000 followers, and we do give you the best coverage of softball in the country. And there's a swing and a leadoff base hit. So Jimmy gets a base hit. It's going to bring up Tommy. This is LaHonda had a little bit of a team get-together there, trying to get their guys to... And there's a swing and a fly ball to the gap, and got a hand on it, juggled it, couldn't make the play. And we're going to be all tied up here. So that ball carried. We told you out in right center that the ball was going to carry, and it certainly did on that swing. And we're all tied at 5 here in the 5th.
Hey, Nava, let's go.
My favorite thing, we got a little symmetry. 5-5 in the 5.
Tommy, Miners go through.
So that's going to bring up Tommy. Actually, this is Brandon. I believe Tommy just got the hits. My bad. So LaHonda, they've been down, they've been up. They were down, and now they're tied.
Hey, they know what's coming. They got to stop it.
Again, we are live from Clyde Park, Chicago's west side.
Hey, that's 2 balls. Let's go, kid.
We're actually in Cicero, but... And there's a walk.
Hey, Manny, what was that? Too high, too low?
We got a pinch hitter, Blue.
Oh, come on, Manny.
So this looks like a...
Brandon Miranda.
What?
Brandon Miranda.
Oh,
So Brandon Miranda is going to pinch hit.
we got to get you a GoPro so we can review this game.
2 on now.
Hey, GoPro and glasses, Manny. Fuck, man.
So in a tie ball game here, of course, LaHonda has the hammer. So if you're bullies, you'd like to find a way to stay tied. And there's a ground ball to second. Christian over to Edwin, and they do call him out at second. Edwin looked like a ballerina on that. He was dancing all around the bag, but found a way to catch the ball. Brings up Josh Cias, but he found a way to catch the ball and stay on the bag. So bullies now, they got a chance to get out of here with just the 1 run scoring. And let's see if Josh goes back to the right side at all. Well, he looked like he might have been thinking about pooching something over there. Corey, the pitcher, he did try to go that way. Hits it right to Christian. So they get 1 to tie the game. Oh, now they're saying 2 outs. So another run did score.
I was yelling at him to stay at.
So bullies kind of fell asleep there a little bit. Run scored. He was going to score from third anyway. The runner at first did get to second. They might have had a shot at a fielder's choice. Here's Lou Rossi. And Lou goes harder, but right on the spot is AJ. And AJ makes the play to end the inning, but 2 runs, and LaHonda jumps ahead. 6-5 as we head to the top of the 6th.
Hey, let's go, guys. Hey, everybody put on next time. Let's go. We're doing good. calm down. Station, win again. Play ball. Play ball. Nothing. I just showed nothing. Just play ball. Let's go. Hey, it's on three. It's on three. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
So like I said, they got 4 time slots out here. Sorry, I got caught eavesdropping on the huddle. It's going to be Loco, Spada, and Corey. And Loco swings, hits a little flare. It's going to be foul. Oh, they called it fair. They don't have any chalk lines out here. So that's what the umpire is saying. I kind of thought it might have been foul, but again, they got no foul lines out here. Usually, you'd like to see at least a cone down there somewhere. And again, it's early in the year, and the park really hasn't been completely set up yet. So here's Spada, and he hits a fly ball right at the left fielder. No tag. It's going to bring up Corey. So it is starting to you can feel the temperature starting to drop here. I got to put my hood up. And it's a little hard to do because right now the headset is on the outside of the hood, or inside. So Corey takes that a little deep. So originally had it been a little warmer, I was planning on maybe doing more than one game, but getting over that sinus infection. And last time we were outside, I was still fighting it. Looks like it's going to be a one-game night. And there's a high fly ball. Center fielder backtracking, and it carried over the top. Loco is going to score. Corey's going to jog into third. They're going to send him. Cias, now he slams the brakes on.
Run ourselves out of innings. We're fine.
That was a good example, folks. I don't know if you can catch the top of the trees, but the top of the trees are really blowing. I don't know if you can see the trees down there. So as a result, that ball got up in the jet stream. We're all tied at 6.
Spada, come here.
So they got a courtesy runner as Spada comes in. Brings up Dario. 6-6. These two teams are trading haymakers. And there's a high fly ball. That's up in the air. And he's struggling. And another ball over the top. Another run scores. Dario taking the turn. And the throw misses the cutoff man. 2-run bomb. So Dario hits a 2-run bomb. He got it up in the jet stream. And that ball just kept on going. 8-6. Another 3 spot for the Bullies. Seems to be their magic number. They scored 3 in the 4th. And that brings Izzy up. So again, this is the time of the day when we do have the wind pick up out here in Chicago, when the sun is setting but hasn't quite done so. The center fielder out there had a couple of balls, and it's tough as an outfielder because if you play too deep, anything that's not hit high enough to really get into that jet stream falls in front of you. Lou Rossi makes the play. So Izzy grounds out. And that's going to bring up Church. So Church has been wearing a sweatshirt all day. Now at the coldest point in the game, he took it off. Oh, Joey, I'm sorry. So Joey hitting for Church. Trying to find Church on the sideline to see if he's still wearing the hoodie. And Joey hits a little grounder to third. Throws it wide, and Joey's going to be on, and he did something on the swing. So a little courtesy for him. That's the other problem. When you're in this dirt sometimes, a lot of these batters' boxes get dug out. And when that happens, sometimes you step in a divot or you twist your foot and it slides. So here's AJ, and he spanks one right to Cios, throw to first in time. But in the inning, 3 runs, and we have yet another new leader in this ballgame as Bullies jump back in front. So we head to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th. We got a little bit of a nail biter. So this is going to be John, Thor, and George. If I'm not mistaken, weren't these the 3 guys that were up when La Honda had the 2-run inning when they loaded the bases and then ran themselves out of an inning? So you hear the pitcher telling his outfield nothing over the top.
Hey, look at your outfield, Corey. Hold on.
So here's John. He's going to try to get something going. And there's a hard ground ball. Nice pickup by the shortstop. And that's how you do it, folks. Very confident there, JB with his hands. Got a hot skip kind of a bounce and handled it like it was routine. Sorry, folks, can't really repeat that on the air. So John grounds out.
Get this man some glasses already.
He brings Thor up with George on deck. Again, you do like to score runs late in the ball game because when you do that, you always wonder how the other team's going to handle. But we've seen these in contention, and they were in a couple of crazy games there on earlier streams where they were similar to what's going on here, back and forth, and lead changes in the ball game. So we know that psychologically they're a tough group. And there's a swing and a rocket. He's not getting to that. It's going to be at least 3, and they're going to send them. That throw will not be in time. 8-7, solo blast by Thor. So you see Corey a little aggravated because he was telling him before the inning, don't get beat. But the problem is, as an outfielder, and that was not a fly ball. That ball was hit hard, and it was hit up in the air. So between it being a hard line drive, it brings up George, and George can cut. And you heard Corey telling him at 8-7, don't cheat him because the wind's blowing out. And 16 in softball is an interesting game because the wind, even though it's a bigger ball, at times will have a huge effect. Line drive, third baseman fought it all the way, had time, and recovered for the out. Take it easy, Spags. So Spags, I'm glad to hear Dynasty's coming back. I know you guys have lost a lot of players the last few years, and realistically, some of the best players in 16-inch softball, but I'm glad you guys decided to have a team again this year. And there's a swing and a little flare into right center. That'll drop for a hit. And he'll stop at first. So Jose dumps a hit, and it brings up Johnny. There's my guy, Pistol Pete. See, the Demons will be back this year. I saw you guys are in Matty Dozen's tournament, correct? I kind of want to see the new look Demons. In fact, I think the last time correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but I thought I heard that you guys actually volunteered to be in like the major division in that tournament. So that's going to bring up Jimmy. Tying run at first in a back and forth contest. And I keep waiting to see if the lights turn out. Back in the day, Clyde would have a problem sometimes early in the year. That's why if you ever drove down past like a major league ballpark, a lot of times before the season starts, you'll see the lights on at night. And a lot of times what they're doing is they're making sure that everything's working. We were playing Jelly out here in the Clyde League, which has a long and storied history here in Chicago. Some of the greatest teams in the game have played out here. And there's a little fly ball, and that's caught, and that'll do it. 8-7. So we head to the next inning. And we're playing Jelly. A good friend of mine, Pat Duty, used to run that team. And they couldn't catch a cold, but man, they could hit. And we're playing them out here. We're in a nip and tuck game. And one of the big hitters on one of the two teams gets up there and smokes a ball. And right on contact, the lights go out. Fortunately, nobody got hurt. And they had to call the town electrician to come out and to flip the switch on the circuit breaker. So here comes a pinch hitter. And he swings and he lashes a base hit here in the top of the seventh. So Angelo, pinch hitting for Jesse, gets a base hit. And it looks like, so AJ is going to re-enter. I'm sorry, he hit for, AJ was the last out, so he courtesy runs. So here's another pinch hitter, I believe, for Edwin, Abel. And then they'll be back to the top of their lineup. So leadoff man on, we talk about, again, I sound like a broken record, but you need the bottom to chip in. And there's a swing and a base hit. So it's going to be first and second. AJ thought about it, but he'll stay right there. And that's going to bring up the top of the lineup now. 2 on, nobody out. 8-7 ball game.
Hey, wait, somebody get up first. Time.
And now they're going to get a coach out there.
AJ, liners through. In the air, hold.
Top of the lineup. So the bottom of the lineup, even though they're pinch hitters, still chipping in here. And Christian swings and he hits a base hit. And now they caught a break there. Right fielder was a little bit in between them where to throw the ball. But with that sinking line drive there and the runner wasn't going, the proper place to throw that ball would have been home.
I seen that ball coming from the outfield.
Had the runner come to third and turned and looked and kept himself active, he might have had a chance to go home seeing the trajectory of that throw. So that's going to bring up JB here, bases loaded. And JB, a little ground ball up the middle, it sneaks through, one is in. Here comes the second run. Christian's going to draw the throw, and now the runner at first takes off. So that's how you do it, 2-run score on the single. Still no outs. Christian drew the throw. He accomplished what he wanted to do. They threw the ball to the plate, and that's when JB snuck into second. And Loco, little short flare, and that drops. Christian's going to score. Yes. Another run scores. That's the first out of the inning.
Liners through. Hey, somebody first.
So that's going to bring up Spada. So 3 runs here in the top of the 7th, and the Bullies getting a little insurance. And that's a good job there by the center fielder. That ball looked like it was going to maybe drop, and there's a flare to right field. The runner does tag and come to third. 2 outs now, runner on third. Brings up the pitcher, Corey. So all of a sudden we got an 11-7 ball game here.
Look, one.
So this would be the third 3-run inning of the game here. But Corey gets a hit. The 4th run scores. Now it gets away, and Loco's going to turn and burn, and he'll score. So 2 more runs. And now it's 13-7. 6-run lead as the Bullies have exploded here in this inning with a 5 spot.
Let's go, let's go.
That's going to bring up Dario. And he takes a walk, so that'll push the courtesy runner into second and brings up the left fielder, Izzy. I tell you, I like this Bullies team. They're going to be a load. We'll see where they end up getting classified. And there's a base hit, and Spada's going to stop, so the bases are loaded for the second time this inning as the Bullies keep hammering away here. And it looks like the lights are turning on here at Clyde Park. Although we got one straggler up there on the end. There's a sky-high fly ball. And that ball is caught, a tag, the 6th run will score. Towering fly ball. Makes it a 14-7. They've doubled up La Honda. Now that's a good example. The runner, Izzy, was already at second. The runner at third was stationary. They asked for time, and they got it. And there's AJ, and he flips one to right, and oh, he got there, can't hold on. 2 more score, and it's now 16-7. So when it rains, it pours sometimes. Still only 1 out here in this inning. Brings up Jesse. And this is a perfect example sometimes when you are a younger team and you get into this type of an inning, you can see the lights starting to take a bright effect. There's a little ground ball to Josh Cias. He makes the play. And that's out number 2. George lost track of the outs. Is it 2 or 3? So apparently it is 3. So do or die, bottom of the 7th for La Honda, as they now trail by 9. And what was a back and forth seesaw game. Can see up there on the light tower, that little dark spot. That's the one bulb that didn't want to turn on in this cold weather. But Bullies hammering away 16-7. So whether they, and again, the classification is based on a lot of things, and we'll see where they get classified, but as a B team, they're a load. So here comes, I believe this is Jimmy.
Chris, go to short center. Chris, go to short center.
And then Tommy and Brandon, I believe, are scheduled hitters this inning. So bottom third of the lineup. And I got to tell you, it's gotten cold. It wasn't bad today during the day. I think it got up to almost 60, but no clouds in the sky, and whatever heat was around has evaporated and disappeared. Again, we are live. Yeah, Amalia, this is the same league, and because the dome schedule and they kept getting pushed out of time slots, and there's a little pop-up, second baseman there puts it away. Today is the last day of the regular season of that indoor intentional sports Los Borrachos League. And they still have the playoffs coming up, and my guess is they'll be doing the playoffs outside. So here's Tommy. One out here, bottom of the 7th. And yes, because of how small the league is, and that's out number 2, it's going to bring up Brandon. They only got 8 teams in that league, so as a result, they do play each other quite a bit. So there's no secrets between these teams. And of course, La Honda did very well in the first session out there. They had 2 sessions. This is basically the last day of the regular season. So pretty much from here on out, we'll be outdoors the way the game was meant to be played. And I apologize for the bad Zoom action, but I got no moisture on my hands.
I don't believe it. Pull, guys, pull!
So this has been a pretty entertaining game. We've seen some, and there's a swing. He keeps hope alive as he dumps a single into left center field, and that'll bring up KC in the top of the lineup. So again, the wind is howling here. I got out of my car. It was about 57 and not too bad. So I got a hoodie and a vest on, but probably would have been better served putting a jacket on. So here's KC. Takes that pitch deep. Now if you're Corey here, you got a big lead, just throw it over the plate and let him swing. And that's deep. So 3-1 count here. all 4. So with 2 outs, LaHonda has a couple of base runners. They're going to need a boatload more if they want to crawl back into it. Brings up Josh Cias.
Hey, two down, Chase. Watch the flip, watch the flip.
Ain't no flat feet out there.
Now this is an example, even with the wind blowing out, when you're up 16-7, you can actually cheat a little bit in the outfield just because statistically more balls will fall in front than over the top. So they do pick up a 2-out run here, 16-8.
Hey, let's go.
Again, we talk all the time about how you lose sometimes. Yeah, Lee, they're doing a 1-1 count. That's kind of a... They got 4 time slots tonight, and if you've been out here to Clyde, you know it's in the middle of a residential neighborhood. And even though the people out here traditionally are very understanding, you know, school is still in session. And there's a little flare. So, you know, you don't want to go too late if you got kids that got to get up in the morning. So they kept the 1-1 count. So Lou Rossi now, with 2 strikes, has to keep it between the foul lines. And there's a little flare, little pop-up. Good job by AJ. He got there, and LaHonda breaks this game open in the 7th. And they turned what was a nip-and-tuck close game for 6 innings into a rout. So Bullies hung in there after giving up an early lead, falling behind. They reclaimed the lead and ended up winning, going away. So the Bullies grab a win in the ball game. And I'm not sure. They could be playing another one tonight. Looks like they're all grabbing their stuff. They might have a game on the other diamond. I'm not sure. Because they all look like they're in a hurry to get moving here. So we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, brought to you live by Gold Rush Gaming. Gio on the mic. I will keep that in mind, Amalia. So we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We got more coming up, like we said, next weekend, Saturday at Tinley Park. We'll have the SSA Kickoff Classic. We'll see some of the major teams are in that tournament. So it's going to be very interesting because it will be our first chance to see some of the new acquisitions and pickups. So you'll want to tune in for that. And then, of course, we have the Cinco de Mayo the following week. And, of course, the Westchester TOC, run by Westchester Park District in conjunction with the SSA and the first Chicago Summer Series event, will be coming up in mid-May. So it's going to start being fast and furious with tournaments. So make sure you follow our page so you get notified next time we are live. And we will have a podcast coming for you guys next week, Chicago Summer Series today. So we got a lot on our plate. We're fired up. We're excited. It's going to be a great season. Thanks for tuning in. And on behalf of SSA Broadcast, this is Gio saying be safe and have a good night.